Greeting to everyone. My name is Bekolo Ngoa Celestin. I am currently in China, but I've been running some research in Ghana, and I'm here to present on the subject of eco-innovation in waste recycling industry in Ghana, modeling the upper echelon behavior driver of a co-design practice-based innovation activity among seed award winners. I've been listening to all the presentation that have come before me, and I've learned a lot, I must say. And as I was listening to all the people, I was a little bit afraid that my presentation does not fit the content, given that most of the presenters have approached this subject in the, in other fields than the field of management and economic. And for another reason is that my study is related to a particular context that has not been covered in the other presentation, which is the developing country context. So the approach of this research is the social science approach, and we are trying to get to understand the way of fostering eco-innovation among the people in Ghana particularly. As we know, waste is actually, the amount of waste generated every day is increasing at an exponential rate. And in the recent years, much of this waste have been produced from developing country, the cause of urbanization, population increase, and everything. And one of the contexts in this area has been open dumping of waste. There's so much waste that there's not so much things that, so much facilities that we can actually handle it. So much of the waste are being dumped, and from the context and everybody here, we can understand how damaging open dumping can affect the environment. So in this research, we realize that the dumping of waste has an effect, negative effects on human, animals, and local and global environment sustainability and economy as well. And we understand that it is best to treat waste properly and in a timely manner, thus avoiding social, economic, and ecological impact, because the cost of remedying improper manage of waste tend to be more expensive than the cost to manage the waste properly in the first place. So we understand that if this can be done, we will solve more problems, because proper waste management will create jobs in this area. It will mitigate environmental and health impact, and it will improve the whole nation economic. That's what we believe. So we can see from the background that many local municipalities in Ghana, in developing of Sub-Saharan Africa, have handled the waste on unconventional ways. And we thought that this has to change. So there's a need of change in perspective in solid waste in this area. We need to move away from business as usual practice to an ecological and economical viable approach to seek positive and direct and indirect economic benefit. There's also a need to change the mindset that consider managing waste as a liability towards a realization that waste management is a potential resource for generating economic activity, creating jobs while improving the environment and the human welfare. I would like to say here that for many years, wastes were just managed by the public institutions, and they were basically dumping it without any other use. So there's a need to actually not look at waste as it is a liability, but an opportunity. Another thing that needs change in perspective is an emerging and developing economy, in particular, have a significant opportunity to benefit from greening the waste management. They should develop, countries should develop their own vision and long and short-term strategy for greening the solid waste management sector. So we understand by greening the waste management through the 10R strategy that were actually proposed by the UN, which are refuse, rethink, reduce, reuse, repair, refurbish, remanufacture, repurpose, recycle, and recover. So we understand that we can green our waste management using this principle. And in our study, we try to get an understanding of how can we achieve this objective or this strategy. Actually, we realized that in Ghana, for example, there was an exponential increase in waste generation and open dumping in waste management, even though the government have decentralized the waste management system since the early 20s. They invited the private sector to also get involved into waste management in order to try to solve the problem. But this has not really changed the situation 10 years later. Waste is still abundantly in the street and everywhere. Waste management in Ghana is actually a multifaceted concept that includes a population of very heterogeneous agents, and not all of them have the same potential to contribute to economic development. What has happened is that when we look at it, it's like when it was open to the private sector, there were a lot of people who moved into waste recycling. But unfortunately, they were not all contributing to solving the problem. So many other things came along, like child laborers and other health hazards because of the mishandling of these waste products in the in this area. So the waste recycling firm in Ghana face a high level of informalities, actually, across all activities. And this has made this industry, or this apparent waste industry, of performing less or being less innovative in their endeavors. So in this context, there is a small group of entrepreneurs into waste recycling who have been championed and who has made a difference. Actually, they have brought up a new type of industries that concentrate on eco-innovation. And in this research, we were very interested to this group, and we use the Seed Award competition, which actually is an award that celebrates the local recycling entrepreneur in order to identify and select and celebrate the achievement in sustainable innovation using an award scheme competition. So we use this group of innovative entrepreneurs to understand, to get to know what are the factors, or what what are the drivers of their eco-innovation, and why are they so different from the other one. So we wanted to focus on those who are doing well in order to help those who would like to join, or the policymaker, to understand the reality and how to actually channel the resources into that can actually achieve a great waste recycle. So we went through the data of the seed award competition from the year 2008, 2009 to 2019, and we collected information about all the Ghanaian waste recycling company that were awarded, small business that were awarded for their innovation and for their contribution into sustainability. In the picture here, we can see some of those companies like NetPlus Eco Limited. They use plastic to make concrete, and they use the concrete to actually make tiles for the road. This is an innovative. We have Eco Shoes. She's a young lady who was also celebrated by the Seed Award, who use and make shoes for handicapped and handicapped ladies. And she used already trash shoes that some of the ladies do not use anymore, and recycled it by putting tissue on it and new cloth on it, and make a style out of it. We have, just to cite few of them, we have Gisles Foundation, which also use recycled material to make a lot of things. So there are these companies in Ghana that are really making the difference, but there are few. And it was our understanding that we needed to, first of all, classify them into what they are doing in comparison to the 10R. We wanted to know where, what exactly is going on, what kind of innovation they are bringing, and what kind of recycling they are doing in their enterprise. And from there, we start asking this question: what actually is particular about this company, or is there a specific entrepreneurial profile that makes certain waste recycling firm more innovative? What is the difference between this group who were innovating and they were actually doing a great job, and this other group of people who were engaged also in the waste recycling, but were not achieving any significant contribution. So our objectives, as I have already said, was a better understanding of who are eco-innovative waste recycling and why do they decide to engage and in the launching of an eco-innovation venture, help enrich the discussion about waste recycling innovating entrepreneur, and improve our understanding of the source of entrepreneurial heterogeneity in waste recycling, and identify a better way to promote their emergence and development. So this research pursued this objective. So we use a series of theory to understand what could be the factor that are driving eco-innovation. We first of all look at what we call the upper echelon theory, which say that the result of any company is actually a factor of the leader, or the CEO, or the entrepreneur, or the top executive. So we try to understand the socio-psychological drive of this entrepreneur and how they impact their engagement into eco-innovation. We also study the structure, the internal structure of this company, the creativity, the competency, and then the sustainability identity. And we also looked at the external environment in terms of competition pressure, perceived policy, perceived market availability, and cultural antecedent that could actually impact these recycle firms and how all these factors contribute into their eco-innovation. So this was basically the research. So the first part of the research, which I present right now, was where we run after interview with the different entrepreneur from the seed. When we had an interview with them and questionnaire, we ran a first collaboration to understand what are the different factors that are so predominant to this group of people. So as a result, we presented some of the socio-psychological drivers that are actually very prominent among these innovative, eco-innovative waste recycling in Ghana. We find that there was there's in the socio-psychological drivers, self-efficacy was a drive, education, the level of education. In fact, we realized that many of the people who were engaged in waste recycling and who have actually achieved this innovation where a level of education was higher, and some of them had experience in other fields. In Ghana, for example, we have few people who left their blue collar or white collar job to join the waste management. And we understood that the experience that they had, the previous experience, was actually a driver to eco-innovation. In the firm characteristic, we understood also that the difference between these firms that were engaged into eco-innovation and the others, it was the sustainability identity. What do we understand by sustainability identity? The purpose for which they built the company, it was to solve a problem. Many of which who had a problem, the purpose of solving a problem in a sustainable way, were those who were actually leading into creating or bringing innovation. So we also understood that their firm credibility and capacity, competency was actually also a contributing factor. From the external drivers, we actually saw, from external driver, we consider the policy, the public policy support, and the market availability and competitive pressure as factors. Now, what contribution does this research bring actually? This is the first phase of the research. I would like to say that this phase is in to several dimensions, but right now, what we have understood is that this study add, first of all, that to the upper echelon theory by looking at essential but understanding top executive trait and characteristics that influence a firm eco-innovation. And also, our finding provide a new insight into the drivers of green innovation by adding to the debate over whether the driver of eco-innovation should be activated only through tough regulation. Now, what we realize that in many countries in many developing countries, there are so many regulations, but the implementation is very poor, that we cannot foster eco-innovation only by relying on pushing policy and writing a lot of them, but rather by concentrating on the people who will, on the awareness and working with people to understand the inconvenience and all the problem that waste management bring. Okay, the paradigms of assessing the driver of eco-innovation has been broadened then in this study, and we look forward to continue and explore a better way to implement this eco-innovation in Ghana. So this study also added a body of knowledge by examining, of course, the key socio psychological quality of entrepreneur, as well as internal and external determinant were valid in a new empirical object. So we also